Are zoos necessary? This is a question that could honestly go either way. People could argue that zoos are almost immoral because the animals living in them need to be free and they need to be able to roam around at their own free will. And the enclosures they are kept in are possibly not big enough, which can be argued, but in some cases it can be true. All these ideas can be argued pretty heavily, and honestly, I too agree that animals deserve to live out of captivity and in the wild, but I personally believe that benefits of having zoos outweighs most of those ideas. I think zoos are really important. My first reason that I think is that they educate, and things that zoos teach us is how animals live in the wild. They teach us about which species are endangered and how endangered they are, how close they are to extinction, and other parts of nature that are important in itself. Zoos also teach the importance of conservation, which is another thing that I think is why zoos are necessary. Zoos offer animals a second chance if they're injured, having diet problems, or not getting proper nutrition. They even offer safety if the species is in danger of being poached or hunted, as well as loss of habitat. They can also help. They also can help with endangered animals by helping the species grow again, by making sure the animal stays healthy and can reproduce successfully, so they're no longer at risk of extinction. A good example of this is the Buffalo Zoo. They own a male and female black rhino. That a couple years back had a baby black rhino. They are critically endangered, with there being less than 5,000 remaining in the wild. About 30 to 40 years ago, there were about 20 to 25,000 all throughout Africa. This goes to show how important conservation is if we want to save these animals. The conservation of wildlife efforts by zoos are very important because they also introduce these animals that are able to live and thrive in the wild back into their natural habitat. This is the most important thing, in my opinion, that zoos do. It's called rewilding, and it is the process of reintroducing an animal species back into its natural habitat after being driven out previously, most likely due to humans and industrialization, unfortunately. By bringing back these species into their environment, it can help a struggling ecosystem self-regulate and return to its natural processes. Multiple sources I've read say de-extinction of animals and the reintroduction of animals will reduce the amount of carbon in the atmosphere. This is relatively off topic, but people are working on bringing back the woolly mammoth from extinction to help preserve the tundra and reduce carbon in the fight against climate change. I'm not exactly knowledgeable on that, so I can't say how it works, but I've seen multiple articles about it. The morality of de-extinction is also a topic of discussion in itself, although I'm not getting into that today. My final thoughts on this are that I believe that zoos are a necessity to keep wildlife healthy and stable and to overall educate the public on why conservation is so important.